Hi everybody! In this video I'm going to show you how you can learn to do a handstand. Handstand positions are very important in wheel gymnastics because we need them for all three disciplines. Besides that, they are just fun to do, so it's always a good idea to work on your handstands. Very important muscle groups to do a handstand are your upper arms and shoulders. But you also need very good abs, so you don't stand like this, but more in such a position with your abs, back and butt very tight. Before you start to do handstands, you should always do a little warming up. So swing with your arms backwards. I'm only going to show you those exercises very briefly. You can do them for much longer until you're really warm. Also swing to the sides. And warm up your wrists. Also stretch your shoulders. But you should stay in the position much longer as I am showing you right now. Try to keep your legs straight. And turn your hands. Give a little pressure on your hands. You can do this in all possible directions. They also recommend to do some bridges. You can put your body forward and to the back to stretch your back as much as possible. If you have enough space, I suggest you also do some cartwheels, best to both sides. The first step to learn a handstand is to be able to be in a push-up position for at least 20 to 30 seconds. The push-up position should look like this, not like this, so don't hang in, but push your hip a little upwards. You can even be a little round in your shoulder parts if you push yourself up as much as you can. Keep tension in your abs, your back and your butt. Just stay like this. Next, you should try to push yourself forward and backward in this push-up position. So your whole body goes to the front so that your shoulders are before your hands and back again. You should also do this for at least 20 to 30 seconds. Of course, if you can do it longer, then it's even better. For the next exercise, you need a small box or something similar. You can just put it on the floor and step with your feet onto it. Then you can lay down your legs on the box and just hold this position. If this is easy for you, you can step up with your feet and push your butt to the ceiling. try to hold this position as well for at least 20 to 30 seconds. If you managed to do this quite well, then you can take a chair. So you can first just lay your legs on the chair and then step up with your feet. Now your back is already in a handstand position, which means that your hands are in line with your shoulders and your hips. Hold this for at least 20 to 30 seconds or as long as you can. What I forgot to say so far is that you should only go to the next step if the step before is really easy for you. So in the next step, we are going to do our first handstand on the wall. I suggest that you do it in that way around that you face the wall. In this way, you don't have to be able to swing up yet, but you can just walk up the wall as far as you can. So place your hands on the floor and walk up with your feet. You can just stay in this position for a while, or you can walk up even further. Only go so far that you are still able to hold the position for at least 20 to 30 seconds. This will take some time, but you can walk up higher and higher with every training until you are nearly in a handstand position. If you want to come down, you can just step a little forward with your hand and then come down to the floor with your feet. Again, you should be able to hold this for at least 20 to 30 seconds before you go to the next step. Before we can go to the next step, we need to discuss how you can get down from your handstand. You can just walk with your hands a little to the front to get your feet down as we did it in the last step. Or you can take your feet down sideways. So when you're in the handstand position, then you release one leg and just put it to the floor sideways. This also works if you are closer to the wall. If you are really flexible in your back, you can also let yourself fall backwards into a bridge. This is why we practiced and stretched the bridges before we started to do the handstand. Put a mat first, or you can ask another person to help you and to assist you at your back. However, I personally think that letting yourself fall into a bridge should always only be an emergency solution, because if you want to do handstands in special spots, for example on a rock or something, you should always be able to come down properly. In this step, we are going to do a full handstand for the first time. Face the wall and walk up the wall as we did before, but go so high, walk so high with your feet that your hands are really close to the wall. Keep tension in your stomach, in your back and your butt. You can even lay your legs onto the wall and just feel it. But I would recommend to always have your tiptoes on the wall. Hold this position for at least 30 seconds. Then you can come down sideways. Most of you have probably seen people making handstands on a wall exactly the other way around, that they have the wall in their backs. However, and the wall helps you to get into the right position, but only if you face the wall. I'm going to show you what happens if you do it the other way around. So you swing up and now you stand like this and you're kind of a banana. In this position, you would never be able to hold your handstand freely. So to start to learn a handstand, it's better to do it the other way around and to face the wall. Although you should learn handstands by facing the wall, it's still important to learn how to swing up into a handstand. So first, just put your hand on the floor, release one leg and jump with the other leg. Then you can just stay like this for a little moment on the wall and come down again. We do it again. Now you can start with your hands a little away from the floor and do the same thing. You can even go into a full handstand position. Again, you see that when I'm doing this, I directly fall into a banana position because my hands are too far away from the wall. This will happen to you as well, and I repeat that it is because of this that you should start doing handstand facing the wall and not with your back onto the wall. So we go back again to facing the wall, and the next step is to hold the handstand in this position on the wall for as long as you can. You should be able to hold it for at least 30 to 45 seconds. Try to hold it even longer. So I'm gonna quickly show you how this end form should look like. So you walk up the wall again, as we did before, and you go really close to the wall. And you just hold it like this, with your stomach, butt and back very, very tight. Then you can come down sideways. This step will also need some time to learn it. Your muscles have to build up until you will be able to hold this position properly for at least 30 to 45 seconds or even longer. It is very fun to be able to do a free handstand. So I'm going to give you some tips how you can achieve to do a free handstand. Most importantly, of course, is a very straight position. However, we will have a closer look on your hands. If you place your hands very flat to the floor, it will be quite hard for you to counterbalance. So try to leave a little cavity under your hand. You can achieve this by placing most of the weight onto your heel of palm and your fingertips. In that way, you have a little cavity in the middle of your hand, and if you get out of balance, you can counterbalance with your hands. This will enable you to hold your handstand position still without being forced to walk with your hands. Now we start to practice balancing. So go up as you know it facing the wall, and then try to get your feet away from the wall only by putting the weight on your hands a little more onto the fingertips or onto the palm of your hand. Play around a little until you feel that your feet get away from the wall. Do not push yourself away with your feet. If the balancing with the hand is not enough, you can also use your shoulders and put them a little more to the front and to the back. So just play around a little. The balancing is something that you need to do 1,000 times until you get the feeling for it. You can also do it the other way around, so swing up until the wall and walk very, very close as you can. And then just shift the weight on your hands a little, either more to the palms or to the fingertips, until the feet get away from the wall. Try to hold those three positions but near the wall for as long as you can, and train it as often as you can. This needs time and a lot of practicing. If you feel quite safe, you can now also start to practice on open grounds without a wall. You can also do it outdoors or wherever you want. Now the handstand starts to get really, really fun, so you can start to train them everywhere you like. Of course, there are countless possibilities to do a handstand. For example, you can go up from a straddle standing position, or you can also do one-armed handstand. So the possibilities are endless, and it's just really, really fun to do those handstand. So I encourage you to train them as much as you can and to just have fun with them. So good luck practicing and enjoy.